Hey guys, Ramit Sethi here from Growth Lab. I want to talk to you about a question that I got from one of our readers and one of my friends named Neil Patel. He asked, you've sent thousands of emails, and after a while, your readers will naturally open your emails less and less. What's your number one strategy to keep your list hot so that people always want to open your emails? Kind of a funny question for a couple of reasons. One, Neil is a master at online marketing, so he knows a lot about this. But you'll notice that masters always want to learn something else. The second thing that's interesting about this question is you would never really ask this about your friends. How do I make sure that my text message gets responded to by my bro? We don't think like that. We just say we have a good relationship, and if I text him something funny, he's gonna laugh and send me a joke back. That's just the way it works. I'm gonna suggest 3 ways for you to keep your list and your subscribers engaged. Remember that you're thinking about this stuff all the time, but to them, you're just a blip in their day. You're just one single email that they get in a day or in a week. So think about this. First, you gotta give them what they want. Second, you gotta give them what they need. And third, you have to get interactive. Let me break it down. First, when you give them what they want, this sounds obvious, but it's actually a lot more subtle than you might think. When I see most beginners writing content on their blog or their newsletter, a lot of times they're writing what they think people should want. So when I think back about when I started writing about personal finance, there were so many people out there saying, you need to save 60% of your income. You need to stop spending money on XYZ. You need. Lecturing people, telling them what they thought they needed to want. And I would sit there and say, hey, how do you deal when you have a cheap friend who never chips in a tip? That's what they want to talk about. That's what they really want. So you start with where they are and what they want. If you're writing about personal finance, you might talk about how they get to the end of the month, they look at the amount they spent and they kind of shrug their shoulders. Ugh, I guess I spent that much. That's meeting them where they are. If you're talking about health and fitness, you're not just gonna say, let's break down your chest and back split. That's way too advanced. Where are they? They're like, how do I get rid of this belly fat? That's what they want. Now, that's just part 1. How do you find that? You can do surveys. You should ask them. You should look at what other sites in your niche are writing and what's really shareable and controversial and interesting. You don't have to be sensationalistic just for the sake of it, but I always like to look at Amazon reviews, other blog comments, news articles, all kinds of stuff. The second thing is give them what they need. It's too easy to just write what people want. So that's a quick descent into hell where you're telling people 14 ways to cut your belly fat. I mean, how many times can you really say that? Sometimes you need to elevate and tell people what they need. This is what I did in personal finance. So sometimes I would write about a cheap friend who didn't tip or something like that. That's what they want. But other times I would say, let's talk about the importance of a Roth IRA. Okay? 2 different things. You can see that one is a little bit easier to digest. It's like an appetizer. And the other one is the main course. You kind of build up to it. This is a very different way of looking at your content. Instead of just, let me write whatever's on my mind, sometimes I'm gonna give them a little nibble. Sometimes I'm gonna give them the full course. All right, and then the third thing, which a lot of people miss, is to make it interactive. When you are writing, ask them to reply. You'll see at the bottom of my emails, a lot of them, I say, just reply to this email. I read every response. And those emails go out to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. And I do read every response. So don't think that your list is 1,000, 5,000, 50,000, and you have too many people. You'd be lucky if you're overloaded with responses. That's a good problem to have because it means you have a super engaged audience. At the end of the day, people want to know that they're being listened to, not just that they're being marketed to. So if you do all of those 3 things, your list is gonna stay engaged and you're gonna be a central point, somebody they look forward to opening emails from. Now, if you're interested in how we think about creating material that gets shared and read and people love it, click below. We'll send you a PDF on our ultimate guide to creating remarkable content. This is exactly how we think about creating material that people love to share.